There's a reason certain people seem untouchable. You insult them, nothing. You provoke them, nothing. You wait for the reaction everyone else gives, and it never comes. And somehow, that silence makes them more powerful, not less. Friedrich Nietzsche spent his life studying this exact kind of strength. What he discovered is unsettling, because the people who say the least are often the ones in complete control. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how. Stay until the end, because the final lesson will change the way you handle every conflict for the rest of your life. 1. Silence denies them the one thing they came for. When someone provokes you, they are not looking for a conversation. They are looking for a reaction. Your anger, your explanation, your need to defend yourself. That reaction is the prize. And the moment you give it, you've paid them. Nietzsche understood that the weak gain their sense of power by pulling reactions out of the strong. So when you stay silent, you don't lose the exchange. You end it. You refuse to hand over the only currency they were ever after. 2. Every word you say in defense reveals where you can be hurt. The instant you explain yourself, you show them the wound. You tell them what you fear, what you need them to believe, where your worth feels fragile. And a person who wanted to hurt you now has the map. Silence gives them nothing to aim at. Why? Because what you refuse to say can't be used against you. The strong don't hide because they're afraid. They withhold because they understand that information is power, and they refuse to give it away for free. 3. Your silence becomes a mirror they can't look away from. When you don't react, the other person is left alone with their own behavior. There's no argument to hide inside, no fight to get lost in. Just the echo of what they said, hanging in the air, pointed back at them. Nietzsche knew that most people provoke others to avoid facing themselves. Your noise lets them escape. Your silence traps them, and not everyone can stand that reflection. 4. Silence starves what reaction would have fed. An argument needs two people. A provocation needs a target. Resentment needs an audience. Take yourself out of the equation, and the whole thing collapses for lack of fuel. The person who needs your reaction is, in that moment, dependent on you, and silence is how you take that dependency away. You become the one thing they cannot control, a person who needs nothing from the exchange, and nothing unsettles the weak like someone who cannot be moved. 5. The hardest person to command is yourself. Here is the part almost everyone misses. Silence isn't really power over them. It's power over you. The impulse to respond, to correct, to have the last word. That impulse is the leash, and most people are dragged by it their entire lives. Nietzsche called the highest strength the ability to command oneself. Anyone can shout. Anyone can react. But the person who can feel the pull to speak and choose stillness instead has done the one thing the weak never learned to do. They've mastered themselves first. Now, this doesn't mean you should disappear, suppress everything, or punish people with your silence. That isn't strength. That's just a quieter kind of weakness. Silence is not the same as avoidance. The goal was never to feel nothing. The goal is to stop bleeding your power out through your mouth every time someone pushes you. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming deliberate. There's a difference between the person who has nothing to say and the person who has chosen, in that moment, that nothing is worth saying. So how do you make your silence powerful instead of passive? 5 principles. 1. Never go silent to punish. Go silent to protect your peace. 2. Don't explain a boundary. State it once and let the silence enforce it. 3. When you feel the urge to defend yourself, pause for 3 seconds. Most provocations die in those 3 seconds. 4. Save your words for the people who've earned them, and spend none on the people who only want a reaction. 5. Let your actions speak at the volume your words used to. Real power doesn't announce itself. It simply continues. So the next time someone pushes you, baits you, waits for you to break, remember what they're really asking for, and remember that you don't have to give it. Silence isn't weakness, it's restraint with a reason. It isn't running away, it's refusing to chase. And it isn't the absence of strength, It's the sound strength makes when it no longer needs to prove anything. The untouchable person was never untouchable because they felt nothing. They were untouchable because they finally understood that not everything deserves your reaction. Some things deserve your words, and some things simply deserve your silence. If this resonated with you, it's probably because you already feel the difference between the people worth answering and the people worth ignoring. For more on the psychology of power, the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, and the strength of mastering yourself, subscribe, because learning when to stay silent is how you take back control of your life.